Here's a big question. Has LG, the company that basically put OLED TVs on the map, done enough with this 2024 C4 OLED to justify spending thousands of dollars for what isn't even really LG's flagship model anymore? There was a time where LG's C-series OLED TVs broke all sorts of testing records, but in the last 2 to 3 years, the company started reserving its best tech for the G-series and even the newer wireless M-series. Still, the C is what most people associate with LG. The C4 is available now from 42 inches all the way up to 83 inches, though it's very important to know that only the sizes 55 inches and up have the picture and audio technology that'll compare performance-wise to the 65-inch size I have here. You're looking at a $2,700 price tag for this configuration, but you could go well past $5,000 for the biggest size. If you like your TVs ultra thin, the LG C4 OLED won't disappoint. With a screen that's barely a 1/4 inch thick at its narrowest, it has a sleek appearance highlighted by the shiny metal lining on the bezel. But you gotta check out the back. There's this gray watercolor pattern effect that does look cool, but chances are no one's ever going to see it, so like, what's the point? You'll either set this up close to a wall on this central stand or wall mount it, which I do typically recommend when you're getting any big, expensive TV. All of the C4's ports are easy enough to access, located on the left edge of the control box mounted on the back. You get a full array of HDMI 2.1 inputs, plus some USB Type-A ports and the other usual suspects. Now let's dig into the performance. We're working with the Alpha 9 Gen 7 processor, powering LG's WebOS interface compatible with all the major streaming apps to download, plus a few that'll launch automatically with this magic remote right here. The platform uses this quick card setup aimed at making the most relevant information easy to access. You have suggestions of what to watch and more. It's fairly intuitive, and what's pretty cool is that LG is one of the only TV manufacturers that's promised to release newer software versions to older TVs. Usually, besides like firmware and security updates, you're stuck with the software version your TV shipped with. But now, LG OLED TVs dating back to 2022 will eventually get this exact WebOS version. Although the C4 isn't the leader of every category of picture quality, it still is a step up from its predecessor, the C3. We tested approximately a 30% increase in HDR brightness, with the C4 passing 1000 nits, which is a big milestone for the C-series. We've seen QD OLED TVs like the Samsung S95D and ones from Sony change the standard for OLED brightness, but this right here won't disappoint. The Delta E and Rec 709 coverage scores were also pretty much the best you can get for a 4K OLED TV. But what does that all actually mean? You pop in a Blu-ray, turn on a movie, you're gonna see vibrant yet lifelike colors, deep contrast, and really complex shades of black, since the self-emissive pixels can turn off entirely in the darkest parts of the picture. Wow, that looks good. Even with the shadows, you can see so much detail. And in the trees here too, the reason you can actually see each individual tree is because of the contrast. What's great about OLED is that you also benefit from great off-angle viewing, meaning the picture holds up even past 40 degrees off-axis. Format-wise, the C4 supports Dolby Vision and HDR10, though oddly not HDR10+. Not a deal breaker considering a certain major competitor, Samsung, doesn't support Dolby Vision, which a lot of shoppers really love and are probably more familiar with than HDR10+. Considering how good the C4's picture is, you would think that the sound would match, but the C4's audio is at best passable. Okay, so this is 50 and it's not very loud at all. You shouldn't have to bring it all the way up. 75 is what it should sound like at 50, so not very loud. The TV doesn't get super loud, and it rumbles a bit even at the lower volume levels. It's not that it sounds bad, especially if you're not someone with a sharp ear for speaker quality, but even with Dolby Atmos support, the downward firing 40-watt speakers fall a little flat. Definitely invest in a soundbar here. If you get one from LG directly, you'll get this cool feature called Wow Orchestra that blends the soundbar speaker with the TV's built-in speakers, so certain frequencies sound like they're coming from a more precise location on screen. I do recommend it if you have the space and budget. At face value, the LG C4 OLED is an outstanding TV, and it bears all the hallmarks of a product whose company was intent on getting all of the details just right. But its higher than average price, performance numbers that aren't quite class leading, and a lack of killer sound also do hold it back. LG is also still holding out on ATSC 3.0 tuners for next-gen TV, so this TV isn't the most future-proofed one that you can get for the price. If you want to save some money, the LG C3 OLED carries a lot of the same features and only a few minor performance setbacks for quite a bit less. Or maybe you can wait a few months for the price of the LG C4 OLED to drop. For reference, the 65-inch LG C3 eventually fell about $1,000. That's to say, I might not spend my own money on the C4 at full price, though luckily I think there are already some discounts that I've linked down in the description. Let me know if the C4 ends up being your next purchase or what TV you might be considering instead. You can check out an unboxing video and spec check on social everywhere at Tom's Guide. And as always, I'm at Kate Kozich. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.